There's absolute mayhem in Manipur. We are losing people, we are losing property there. There have been deterioration of the overall situation in the past 24 hours, forcing the center to step in. Union Home Minister has dialed the Manipur Chief Minister, who's himself come out with an appeal requesting people to ensure that peace is maintained on ground zero. So, what exactly is the situation back there? I'm being joined by my colleague, Kamal Gupta, editor who looks at the eastern part of the country. Also, Preeti Pridarshini keeps a very close eye on our northeastern states. Preeti, first thing first, what really has changed in the last 24 hours? There's been tension on ground building over the last 72 hours or perhaps more, but things appear to be really going downhill since this morning.
Yes, actually, since last night, the tension has increased in the state of Manipur as there was a where they were protesting against the ST status that is to be now being given to the Meitei community. And then there was some clash between the police personnel there, and slowly the tension started. And now you can see the aftermath. It slowly increased into such an extent that they had to bring in the paramilitary forces, they had to bring in the Assam rifles, they had to bring in curfew. And also now they have given the order for shoot and sight, so it has went to that extent where they had to give such kind of strict orders in order to control the angry mob. But yes, in the last 24 hours the situation escalated, but in the recent times after the order of shoot and sight has been, we can see that slowly the situations are getting better. But of course, the tension is still prevailing in the state of Manipur, as a lot of people, especially the Meitei people, they have been rescued by the police forces, the security personnel, the paramilitary forces who have been brought to the state. They have rescued 5 to 7,000 people to safer places. So now it's getting better, but definitely tension is still prevailing between between Meitei community people and the other people who are actually protesting, which belongs to different tribes in the state of Manipur. So it is getting better, but yes, tension is still prevailing in the state of Manipur.
Just to help you understand the numbers since this morning, as per a statement by the police, this morning about 3 to 4 houses were burned down, and this is Imphal that we are talking about. That is what set the alarm bells ringing here in Delhi. This was no longer interior districts that we were talking about. This was the capital city. There were vehicles burned down near the airport, 2 kilometers away from the airport. An ambulance was targeted, and things seem to be completely out of control of the local district magistrate, of the local SP. Kamalika, come in on this. The criticism that the central agencies have laid at the doors of the state administration is that you were just not in control. Even with close to 50 columns of the Indian Army, the Assam Rifles, the RAF, the paramilitary being sent in, they just didn't know where they were supposed to go. There was no clear instructions about deployment, and that lack of coordination was just complicating matters, allowing the arsonists to run riot. Were you hearing similar reports from ground as well?
Yeah, obviously it's a big point. And the first question also, Arunima, is that why that type of rally was given the permission, because this is a very sensitive matter. And this attrition between different tribes is always there. But if we look back last 5 to 8 years, there's not been any problems, any violence between the tribes. They all coexist together in Manipur. But when this thing, it's not a one day story. It was cooking up for the last 7 days after this High Court order came, and the High Court order asked the state government to talk to the Union Ministry and include them in the ST status. So it was cooking up. So when this rally was called, when this peace rally was called, why this peace rally was given permission? And what we are also getting it from the sources, that it was, although peace rally, but there were some forces who were trying to disturb the state, and there were arms and ammunitions at some places. They were some people were carrying arms, and that's where the clashes started. And it is not new, Arunima, this difference of hills and valleys. Manipur is such a state where Imphal is in the valley, and in the valley is the most of the Meitei population, which consists of 53% of the entire population of Manipur, is concentrated on the valley, and they get all types of facilities. That's the allegation of the hills. And Kukis and Nagas and other tribes are mostly in the hills, where development still is a big question. That is the allegation which they always raise. Now, when such a situation has taken place, why Meiteis will get a ST status? That is the point of contradiction between these two communities. According to Biren Singh, there was some communication gap, there was some miscommunication, and in such a situation, fake news, fake videos, misinformation, disinformation, that's there. But the question
Hmm.
is, number one, why the permission was given. Number two, what was happening when such problems or such violence, when they went goes out of hand. It's very difficult to cover. We know that till now, as we are talking, 10,000 people have been taken to safe place. But I have spoken to some of the victims, some of the people whose houses have been burned. They're so scared, Arunima, that they're not able to say their name. They're saying that we are afraid. So this is the situation on ground. The army is trying hard, the state administration is also trying hard. And as you know that, as you also said, that Amit Shah had spoken to the chief minister, to the other neighboring ministers, and also he has, special peoples have been deputed. But still the situation is very tense, but it's better than what it was last night. But there is a
Yes.
chance of a retaliation from the other community too.
Well, Home Ministry definitely has stepped on the accelerator. Like we have been discussing, Home Minister dialed the Chief Minister. Kuldeep Singh, who was formerly Director General of the CRPF and of NIA, who has retired just recently, has hands-on experience of how to deal with law and order situations. CRPF is the single biggest law and order deployment force. So Kuldeep Singh has been appointed advisor to the Chief Minister. Union Home Secretary has taken a review meeting. He has spoken to the district magistrates also. Preeti, there is still curfew in most parts of Manipur. Internet has been snapped. Can you help us understand how the administration is really working to ensure that fake news, rumors do not circulate? If any other step is being taken by the administration?
Yes, internet is still banned. Basically, mobile data services has been banned in most places of the state, and which is being done in order to stop spreading rumors, and also because there are certain groups who are trying to agitate people also. So they are trying to avoid those kind of situations for which the internet has been suspended since the last yesterday itself. So we can see that they have suspended the internet. They have imposed to section 144, and also now as the orders have been passed about shoot at sight, so they are trying they have applied all kind of things they can do in order to keep the mob away from doing any kind of violence, any kind of more violence in the state. Is already the state is in such an we can say in an imbalanced situation where a lot of violence has been reported for the entire day. So they are trying to avoid such kind of situation. But yes, still they are coming in together, they are protesting, and the tension is still prevailing, but yes, getting better, of course.
Yes, on the one hand, there is shoot at sight order, but there's also that healing touch coming in from the Indian Army. A video is now going viral. Where you can see the Indian Army personnel telling, people who have been affected, who are scared, that the Indian Army is here. Don't worry, we are deployed right down this lane. We are here all night. If there is any problem, that's the video that we have put out for you. The Indian Army is going all out to calm down peace-loving people. That don't worry, we are here for you. But at the same time, there is a tough approach for the arsonists, for those who are burning down vehicles, those who are burning down houses. They stand the risk of losing their lives as well, because that order is also very clear, and more troops are being sent on the ground. But Kamalika, the politics of it all. Repeatedly, the Bharatiya Janata Party government, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, the Chief Minister of Northeastern state, be it Assam, be it Manipur, be it the other states, they've tried to showcase that these fault lines, which have existed for decades, they're trying very hard to fill them up. But at such a time, for a BJP Chief Minister to be so severely embarrassed, opposition members like TMC are, attacking them on this ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Mamata Banerjee has already given a statement, and she has asked the Prime Minister to look into the matter. And obviously, opposition is saying that there should be of emergency in this area. And before Karnataka election, it's definitely a way of embarrassment. But on ground, this is not this 7 states, specifically Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. This does not go in the straight way of the political equations. It's more of what's happening on ground, and we have to understand that Myanmar is very close to Manipur. there is the other factors too, the drug rackets too. So there's a lot of factor apart from just just being just doing politics there. So the state government there in Manipur and in Nagaland, they have to really address the international security issues too. And there, this Myanmar border, and we were seeing that couple of for a couple of months, this drive against these people who were coming from Myanmar, be it Rohingyas, be it others. The Biren Singh government was taking a very strong stand on this. So
Right.
what really led to, and it's a very difficult situation on ground, because people are swayed out by things, but obviously the difference of the valley and the hill is always been there. Last year, the Manipur election was there, and I went there. This was
Hmm.
something which was always there. But what really gave this this fuel to the entire
Hmm.
violence, that
Hmm.
is to be seen. But obviously the opposition will do its politics. The Biren
Right.
Singh himself has appealed for peace, and he has said that this miscommunication has taken place. What led to this miscommunication?
That's a very interesting point you're making, Kamalika, about narcotics, because I can tell you the Narcotics Control Bureau has actually been rating Manipur very highly. If to fight against narcotics cultivation, be it opium, be it poppy, they're rating Manipur very highly. And I'm glad you're pointing that out, that has also become a bone of contention. While one group says that, this is good, that we are defeating the narcotics lobby, the other group says you're taking away our livelihood. So is this also getting embroiled in this entire politics? A very important aspect that Kamalika is bringing into this conversation. Really, tonight, very crucial is how New Delhi understands. They are watching the situation unfold, and tonight, perhaps the control room will be buzzing. What makes tonight so difficult? What is it on the ground that everybody is so apprehensive about?
Because today will decide if the situation is getting better or not. They have tried their level best, as they have stated. Authorities have stated that they have imposed 144. They have also given a shoot aside order. They have brought in paramilitary forces. So even if after that the situation is not being under control, there are demands from the opposition regarding emergency, and also this will entirely make the picture more clear regarding if it is getting better or not. So tonight is very crucial, because the tension is still prevailing in certain places. The people are still afraid. Army is working in close relation with the people who are very much afraid, but there are still the
Hmm.
miscreants who are out there. There are people who are actually agitated. So there are a lot of facets for tonight. There are the army coming in to comfort the people. There are the people who are afraid, and also there are the agitators who are very much angry. That the angry mob is there. So the three groups are actually working on their own parts. So what will happen today will determine the entire clear picture. And as you see, the politics basically is there. As stated by Kamalika, that this entire issue of an NCB and Narcotics Control Bureau, along with that the state register of citizens, which is which they are going to door to make the register of citizens in the state. That is also another issue that has brought a lot of politics. So the political force is also there, not just whatever we can see apparently on face. There are a lot of things behind which forces are also working. So tonight they will also be a part of this whole situation. So tonight will make the picture more clearer if the dawn actually happens for the people of Manipur. Basically, the people who are suffering a lot without any kind of any deeds of theirs.
Kamalika, in terms of numbers, since the time violence began, what is the confirmed number of death, injury, and loss of property?
Officially nothing has come up, nothing officially has been given. But we are coming to know that various, there has been death toll, there has been injury, but till now officially no numbers have come, even from the armies. What we are getting is that 10 near about 10,000 people has been taken to safest place. First, the focus is obviously to bring peace, but these numbers, generally it's 24 hours, but these numbers are not coming. And that to
Hmm.
Arunima is also very concerning, that we are not able to know what is actually happening there, what number of casualties, because the internet is suspended, which is required, that should have been done, that is very good, that thumbs up for that. But at the same time, we are getting in reports, and we are I've been talking to various people from Manipur. Some of them are trying to go out, some of them have
Hmm.
gone out. Like, I was talking to one family whose daughter is in Delhi, and the entire family is 79 years old, father and mother, they had to really fled to Shillong. And the entire evening was stone pelting and everything happened, but they were scared to tell their name to us, because they were saying,
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
don't know what's going to happen. So after the army came, what
But
we came
Kamalika,
to know.
what is the situation like at the airport? Are flights going on and coming in normally? Are the highways safe in case people want to go stay at a neighboring state or at a neighbor's place or at a family's place? Is it advisable? Is it feasible?
See, there's no official advice, definitely, but we have been speaking to people. Preeti also has been speaking to a quite number of people in Manipur. People who I have spoken, things are just not good. So it's
Hmm.
advisable not to venture out to Manipur right now. But on the other hand, what we are getting, that in airports there is a rush of going to the other states like Guwahati, like Shillong.
Hmm.
People are trying to
Hmm.
come to Delhi, so and to Kolkata and to other places. So that rush is there. Like, I also got this information from somebody who has fled, that the way they were, they went out from the house today in the morning. That point of time, it was not possible for them to take the ID cards. So they really went to the airport and requested the airport authorities that they were in such problem. They really had to have to go, and they don't have their ID cards. So you
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
understand, Arunima, the situation yesterday was worse, which led to this.
Yeah.
Indian Army
You become literally refugees in your own homeland. If your house has been burned down, if your vehicle has been burned down, even to book a ticket, you need some kind of an I card. But in this situation, can you really procure that I card? A very important perspective that Kamalika and Preeti are getting us. Preeti, some of the voices that you've been hearing or at ground zero, can you share with us what the common Manipuri, be it a Meitei or be it a Kuki, what is it that they are thinking? What is it that they are seeing about this entire violence? We, of course, heard celebrities like MC Maricom appealing for peace. But that aside, common voices. Preeti, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes,
So
about
I
the
was just
common
asking
voices, I
you,
have to
what is
tell
the
you that
common
when it
Manipuri saying?
but there are different kind of opinions coming from Manipuris at this point of time. There are the Meiteis who are actually saying that the question of the ST status, they are actually trying to they make themselves sustain the community to sustain in their own land, because let me tell you that in most parts of Manipur, the Meiteis cannot purchase a plot of land. They are not
Hmm.
allowed to purchase a plot of land, so they have also to sustain their own community. So they're stating that why are we as indigenous, because they were also earlier when they are also indigenous community as they claim. So they're saying that if we are indigenous community and we are demanding for ST status, what is so wrong in that? We are not making any harm to the other people. But again, the Cookies, the other communities who have protested against their demand to be declared as scheduled tribe, they have stated that if you see that they are already privileged, they are majority, they are privileged already. How can a privileged community get the ST status when they themselves are divided into OBCs and SCs and STs?
Hmm.
So the facilities that they are currently enjoying in their own state will be curbed if the one in majority, if the one who is actually we can say an advanced community as stated by the Cookies and the other communities in the state, if the Meiteis are getting the SC status, then what is the meaning of themselves being into OBCs and SCs? So they are saying
Hmm.
that because that will be hampering their own benefits that they are enjoying. But again, on the other side, Meiteis are also showing very much concern that just because they're wanting themselves to sustain in their own place, Manipur, where they cannot even purchase a plot of land, they are seeking for ST status. They are facing the wrath of their own people. Like they are the same Manipuri people. They have been living together since so long now, and it has not never been a topic of bringing in violence in the state. Like the two
Hmm.
communities or the other communities fighting with each other in Manipur, it seldom happened. There were other issues, but communities fighting between each other never actually happened. So those are the
Okay.
things that they are saying, and at the very first place, the people are very much afraid. Be it the cookies, be it the Meiteis, those people who are not into this violence are actually afraid, because at
Hmm.
any moment the agitation of both, be it cookies, Meiteis, or other communities, can be faced
Right.
by
Kamalika, help us
a lot of
understand this.
innocent people actually
Uh,
who are not
Help
actually.
us understand this. The areas which have been affected by violence, of course, the capital city is one. But other than the capital city, is this limited to hinterland of Manipur? Are all border districts which are bordering other states, are they also affected? And the reason I ask you this is the administration apprehensive that this could spell out to other states in the neighborhood as well? The Mizoram chief minister has already spoken to his Manipur counterpart. But what about Nagaland? What about the other states with whom Manipur shares a border?
Yeah, right now, see, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma also has held a special meeting with a high level meeting with his state administration and the security chiefs, and also the fact that Home Minister himself has spoken to all the neighboring chief ministers of Manipur itself shows that there is an apprehension that this thing might spread. And now, as things are not good in Imphal, things are not good in Churachandrapur too, which is a part of Churachandrapur is border area, and Churachandrapur is definitely a very important place. And yesterday, from Churachandrapur, actually the violence started, and this type of violence is there's a tendency that it spreads, and there where this ban of internet and all the things which was required. See, we have to give this number to the administration that whatever was required then and there they did since yesterday, but things still went out of hand. That is a big question, why it went out of hand. And let me tell you, obviously Churachandrapur is an area which is it's a vast area, and that falls in hills also. So that difference, the hills and the valleys, it's not only communities, it's the difference of that geography which plays politics out here. Now that is a problem, because if you see, there we were talking to a couple of residents who are in Imphal. The Metis were giving support to the Cookies. The Nagas were giving support to the Metis. They are neighbors. They want to stay together. They have coexisted. They want peace. But there's definitely another force, which is a very unseen force, quote unquote, I like to say. They are trying to create this problem, and just got out of hand. And here the bordering districts too are very sensitive. The bordering district not only with the neighboring state but the neighboring
Hmm.
nation, Myanmar, drag route. So a lot of things put together. Manipur is such a place which was peaceful last 5 years. We can say it at one go. Last year when I went there to cover elections, it was a very different type of election, very colorful election. But what today has happened, this Sid was there, this was cooking up for the last 3-4 months, obviously.
And so comes my question there. This is hypothetical at this stage because officially nobody has told that this is happening, but this does come to my mind. The Indian Constitution does give power to the center to intervene in order to safeguard the law and order and the boundaries of the country, law and order of a state. If they feel that the administration is unable to handle it, there is a provision in Article 355 of the Indian Constitution. If the government of India decides to invoke that, promulgates that order, how do you see that helping matters? Do you see that, first of all, helping matters? And if yes, how will things change? Kamanika, if you could come in first, and then the same question to Preeti.
Obviously it will help, because the central government will already has given full force. Home Minister himself is dealing the entire thing, so obviously the center support the center. If the situation of the state is such that everything is going out of hand, then the center has to come in, and the center is definitely going to be a big help and big boost for the people out there. But at the same time, Arunima, we have to really consider the politics of it. Karnataka election
Hmm.
is there, and before that, if there's something like this happens, this will save people, this will help people on ground, no doubt. But before
Okay.
Karnataka election, if something like this happens, that's also going to be an that's the question again. But definitely, right now, as central government is doing, as state government is saying, the focus is to bring peace. And Manipur, believe me, is not a place where violence takes place. Manipur is a peaceful place. So let's all think that peace will come to Manipur, and that's what the
And
requirement is.
Preeti, before I come to you with the same question, can tell our viewers that Home Ministry is very hands-on. It is the Ministry of Home Affairs. Of course, the Indian Army and the Assam Rifles are there on the ground, but Union Home Minister himself has taken matters in his hand. We are told that there have been a couple of video conferencing that has happened, where all stakeholders have been there. Officials of Ministry of Home Affairs themselves have via video conferencing spoken at the level of the district magistrate as well, asking them that if forces are available, why are they not being deployed? Why are arsonists, people who are breaking the law? And you can see in the videos that we're playing out, they're not afraid of the law of the land. It seems they're going about torching vehicles, threatening people. Kamalika was pointing out that we don't have numbers yet, how many dead, but there is this sense in the air that things are not going down well, and that is the sense, Preeti, coming on that. That is the sense that Home Minister and his ministry want to convey, that we are here. Yes, the CM is the political leader, but we are here to back him up. We are here to do everything that is required. When that kind of a messaging goes, of course, it is meant as a confidence building measure as well to the peace loving Manipuri. It's a message that stay put, things are improving. We are here to take care of you.
Yes, of course, and that interference by the intervening by the center was very much needed, because there can be at times there can be some kind of then there might not be very good thinking about the chief minister, because at times that he is a chief minister, at certain times certain kind of disagreement between his own people at times. But when the center has come in, they are now at least at a relief that center will take care of the situation, because forces are being bought in, and they are doing whatever is, as Kamalika has already pointed, that they are doing whatever the authorities basically everything that they can do in order to stop this violence in state of Manipur. And which is why maybe in a day, in this scale, in a massive scale, the violence spread in the first half of the day, and even yesterday by the night, the scale of violence actually spread was massive, only because that has not stopped, but yeah, that is in decreasing only because center has stepped in, only because paramilitary forces has been bought in, and also the people, basically the common people who are now so much afraid of the situation that in their own state, they are also being consoled that center is taking care, and there is army, there are Assam rifles taking care of them, and they are safe. At least they are safer than what they were yesterday. So this was very much needed, and this is definitely working on ground for the people of Manipur.
Kamalika, has the intervention come in a touch too late? The Chief Minister's appeal also, there was some criticism this morning that this appeal should have come at least 24 hours ago. This briefing to the center that things are going out of hand, please send in more people. This should have happened at least 24 hours ago. Would you say that criticism is valid?
See, the criticism is there. Biren Singh, he has spoken today in the morning. He has appealed today in the morning. Yesterday evening, he would have done. That is obviously the opposition is raising. The criticism is also there. But you have to really understand on ground what was the situation. Yesterday night, what we are getting it from our sources, that Biren Singh was also all through the night he was in his office, and things were going out of hand at that point of time. Manipur is such a state. There was one time when Northeast means only insurgency, only problems. But things are really not bad now in Northeast. Things are really different now. So while these things, there was some lack of intelligence failure was 100% there, because number one, as I questioned earlier, why this permission was given is a
Please,
question.
right.
Number two, this somebody behind, peace rally was there, but somebody was there behind with with arms and ammunition. That intelligence failure was there, that it seems from ground zero. And definitely the his people are saying that his statement would have come a little early, but we have to also understand that what type of problem he was handling is a very much difference is there when something happens, some political riots takes place or political violence takes place. That's a different thing. Ethnic communities clash, that's a different thing that can turn into anything, and that can go out of hand. So we really have to definitely give a benefit of doubt to the chief minister, but definitely he would have reacted a little early. That's everybody was saying. But on the other hand, his camp is saying that he was there 24/7. He was trying to control the situation, and then come for the appeal. So it is the two sides of the story, and
Right.
this is very evident that when there is a community clash, things are very sensitive. This is much more different than a political clash, which happens other ways.
Yes, in hindsight, it's always we have the benefit of hindsight to look around and say we should have done this differently or could we have done this better. But people on the ground are facing it and they're doing the best that they can. However, the message from the center is also very strong. The shoot at sight order that has been issued, the advisor security who has now been sent to Imphal, the steps that are being taken, like we have been reporting, there are enough booths on the ground. If you are in Manipur and no internet is not working there, if your family members are there and you're watching our broadcast and you're scared about their well-being, rest assured, all my colleagues are saying this, and what we are hearing from the administration also is that the best that they can do is being done. Stay at home. If you have a worry, there are paramilitary forces, army, Assam rifles. If you can contact them, just try and reach out to them, and they are there to help you. And if you are planning to take law and order in your hand, the message from the center and from the state administration is very clear. There is no sympathy. Nobody will be allowed to take matters in their hand to break law. And we are watching the situation, like we've been saying tonight, is very crucial. But Manipur, we are praying for you.